Hey guys, we're back with the SEGA Ages franchise.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, that's Sega's new thing. They just go ding as opposed to the Sega.
Yeah, I probably should have warned you to turn down your volume a bit. But if you remember back from our other SEGA Ages video a while back, basically SEGA and M2 have been making this entire series of, re-releases of some of their classic games like Outrun here.
And that intro is the intro for all of these Sega Ages. It's like a big arcade collection.
Yeah, the cool thing about that intro, I may have already said before, is that technically the characters that pop up to wave those flags around are actually randomized. Like every once in a while,
oh, that's cool.
Like sometimes you'll get that cute little midget girl from Alex Kidd, or sometimes you may even get Flicky and his friends from the epic game Flicky.
Which now my experience with this game is actually not having played it like this. I played this. I watched a friend of mine play this in Yakuza 0. You can play classic Sega Ages game in the arcades in Yakuza series.
Ooh, that's pretty neat. But so yeah, we're starting off with Outrun, which is basically basically think of this as a typical drift racer. I'm really surprised that this is one of the games that originated the genre. So I mean,
super fast.
Yeah, I would say probably I think of an example you guys might be familiar with is Sonic Drift. Which is essentially just a bite-sized version of what you're seeing here. And without the cute, the iconic Sonic characters or the power-ups or whatnot. No, this game is basically all about, trying to win this weird world stateside race where it basically takes you all across wherever we are.
It takes you all across California.
If you look in the lower right, you see that little triangular chart?
Yeah.
That actually is our map, and there will be branching paths that we can take as we go from one end to the other. Oh, that's our girlfriend!
And we're dead. We should be
Don't worry, we're okay.
We're okay.
Because gaming logic.
I just feel like, we're flying so adult!
Also, for new time,
Sega, so chaos control!
And also for new players, do note that what James is also doing is he is shifting gears.
You can shift from high speed to low speed. When you're at low speed, you have more control over your car. When you're at high speed, I think that goes without saying, but you pretty much lose some of your control. And when you gotta start making some very sharp turns, that could probably be your biggest fucking blunder.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one thing that really, for me anyway, at least from a casual perspective, the one thing that really holds this game back from being a super fun favorite of mine is that there is no map to directly see turns and stuff ahead of you until you're right there.
Well, there is an indicator on when you gotta start turning, but it's that's like you see all those signs that tell you to turn left or turn right. That's pretty much the only cue you have.
I apologize, but the way you pronounce indicator.
What? What's wrong with indicator?
He said indicator.
Oh, whatever.
Indicator.
But
catering to the indie fans, but no.
As an independent gaming developer.
So, James, how far have you made it? Because I've only seen someone go as far as stage 3.
I've been able to beat this game a couple of times, though I will say that I didn't beat the game. I don't think I've ever beaten the game on its factory settings, on normal difficulty or whatnot. Usually, I appreciate having a little bit more time because this game can be pretty tough to actually reach the goal within the time limit they give you.
Oh, so that's what it is. Changing the difficulty gives you a higher timer count!
Chaos control!
Man, I'm just saying, when you eat it, you really eat it on the
Jesus
side.
Christ. It's like the whatever insurance company they have is probably sweating buckets the amount of times they keep flopping up.
So,
again.
So Jordy and Matt, have you guys played any of the Sega arcade classics?
Nope.
Not that I recall, honestly. What's on the list of the Sega arcade classics?
Okay, so in our previous video we covered Lightning Quest or Thunder Force 4, the shooter, and Sonic 1, because of course every freaking Sega collection they bring out has to have Sonic 1 in there at least once.
If it doesn't, then I would be amazed.
And I have heard that somewhere down the road they are also porting Sonic 2. Because again, honestly, I think if there's one Like, they have been trying to make strides on adding in games that have never been in a Sega Ages collection or whatever yet. And if that is the case, I am honestly God hoping that one of those games ends up being Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Because, I mean, with the exception of maybe one or two Sonic-themed collections, that game has never been ported on anything else.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is a shame. But, yeah, currently we have Thunder Force 4, Sonic 1,
Chaos Control,
the original Phantasy Star.
Nice.
Have you guys ever heard of that franchise? Then
Yeah, I've only seen
congratulations,
Fantasy.
you're old.
Huh.
Or you're only familiar with Phantasy Star Online.
I've heard of Phantasy Star in that.
I only know of Phantasy Star Online 2 because I heard it actually had some good production value, and I only know because of that one anime that was supposed to be Sega versus Nintendo. There's a character who's based upon the Phantasy Star series. Don't watch that anime. It's not good.
I feel like I know who you're talking about, and yeah, it's just that anime was so fucking stupid.
I have no knowledge of this anime.
Well, I'll let James explain anything else about this game, and then I'll talk about it.
Okay, so where was I? There was Phantasy Star, and well, the three games I'm showcasing here: Outrun, Game Ground, and Alex Kid. And actually, just as of recently, Japan got virtual racing.
Oh, cool.
Which I do believe we will be getting soon as well. And that game in itself, I mean, I might show it off at one point or another if I feel like it, but it's just one of those games where, like, I remember more so for its soundtrack than its actual gameplay. Because it actually was really good, especially on the 32X, but that's just me going to my nerd talk right now. But, oh yeah, look at that, we're on the last stage now.
Oh, alright.
We're pretty much at the home stretch. One other fun fact I can leave out about Outrun before we do end off, and trees fought back.
Chaos Control.
He's just so on it now.
Control.
Come on.
I can just imagine Shadow being like Shantae whenever she transforms up an immeasurable amount of times.
Transform! Like that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the fun fact I was about to say, when it comes to Outrun, there's actually two versions of the track design. There's the Japanese track design and there's the overseas track design. As from what I remember hearing, the community tends to prefer the overseas design just for more. I don't exactly know why. I guess the track design itself was just more interesting by comparison.
Chaos Cut. You know what? Fuck it. You're on your own.
I just watched I'm focusing on the girlfriend sprite in this, and she like does a barrel. She like somersaults into the ground, and also James, we'll say the music's great.
Oh yeah, the music's fantastic, and I do believe exclusive to this version of Outrun is that there's a couple of remixes as well, like this Driver's Mega Mix, which just combines all of them.
God!
And we're done!
We almost killed them all.
To be fair,
Hey!
we died like 8 times. So.
Thank you, you're too kind. Oh, what a lovely trophy, I'll take that.
What?
Goes right to the girl.
For dying so gruesomely. She's like, he's like, his sprite work, I'm like,
I wanted a trophy.
Aw, shucks.
Yeah, this is just throughout California, isn't it?
I believe so.
Probably.
And I want to say that between A, B, C, D, and E, I want to say different endings happen depending on which course you reach to.
Yes, they do. Like, I think there's one ending where like there's a whole gaggle of girls that just wrap all around the guy, and and your girlfriend is just all jealous.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one.
I would love one if there's like. I would love one if there was one where, like, if you do them all, then you get an ending where you're about to accept the trophy, but then Sonic nabs it.
Wait, is that really what happens?
No, I said I would love if that
How many
happened.
trophies do you have? 1!
Anyway, let's see there's Phantasy Star on the left. And
There's
then,
the Fantasy Star character, and I don't know who that is, but I noticed that most of the time whenever I pick these games, they usually go for
Alex
the dainty girl characters.
Does Alex
Okay,
change,
then.
like, the...
Oh no, Alex Kidd stays the same. Like
Okay.
I think he's the one factor that always sticks around. And actually, there's something interesting with him. We'll show off later.
So,
but anyway,
I've heard of Outrun. I have never heard of Game Ground. What is...
Congratulations, Matt. Not a lot of people really did, and I don't think a lot of people really care for this game.
Me
But
neither.
I guess for some reason,
Bug
or
fix?
Other, yeah, apparently there's a bug fix
Huh.
for like the later levels. I don't know exactly what that bug fix entails anyway. But to be fair, I only really showed this game off just for the sake of just filling out the video a bit. But basically, how it goes is that Game Ground is it's a top-down action game that was released way back in the day, and it's honestly the way I look at this may as well have just been like an over-the-top version of Golden Axe.
Because I'm looking on the left and the right. Are those all of our playable characters?
Well, sort of, yeah. The whole goal of the game is that you pick a character from on the bottom left there, and then you just go on about your merry way, killing all these mooks, and also saving the occasional survivor. Some of these survivors, I do believe, will actually be turned into playable characters once you save them.
Oh, wow, this is slow.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product of its time.
So let me take some time to tell Matt about the anime I was talking about, or manga, or whatever.
Okay.
It was called World War Blue.
Yeah.
World War Blue.
And what it was is I'll just read the plot synopsis of Wikipedia. A reimagining of the console wars, like the classic late 90s console wars. The series, early 90s. The series tells the story of two kingdoms, the SEGA Kingdom and Nintendo Empire.
Okay.
Locked in a struggle for dominance over the land of Consume. Or maybe it's Consume, I don't know, they must have done something like kind of...
You get the idea, though.
Would you say that their denizens are called consumers?
Yes, you're right. After years of war, the SEGA Kingdom is on the defensive until a kid named Gear appears, boasting of his incredible speed and powers. And by the way, he has blue spiky hair. What he does not know is that another person out there is more powerful than him. So amongst these characters, I'm not going to describe all of them, but amongst these characters, like, we have like characters who are inspired by Phantasy Star. There's a wandering Ronin who considers himself to be independent, who's inspired by Tetris. You have Mario and Luigi. You have frickin' Pikachu. You have Kirby. You have Link.
Christ Almighty! I'll be right.
Samus.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Samus actually looked pretty cool in the anime with the armor set they gave her. But
I forgot Samus was in that show.
Yeah, her name was Saroid.
Of course.
But she was like a
fetch.
fetch.
All the enemies, right? Or the rest of them.
Oh no! But yeah, no, they're But yeah, no, and I thought Samus had an interesting design of being like a fencer with a helmet, but yeah, it was inspired by, it was inspired by like the old like Super Nintendo NES like versus Genesis era.
Mm-hmm. And they decided, and between the two, they treated the freaking Nintendo portion as the bad guys.
Yeah.
So buttons.
Anyway, there's a lightning storm outside. Just thought I'd let you
Oh.
all know.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. Well, hopefully that lightning doesn't ruin our last game we'll be showing off for this look at.
Intro, please.
I do dig the music.
Oh, by the way, this is a neat change they made to the intro. Pay close attention here.
Oh, hey.
Ah,
Alice Kidd chose to do his very own game, and I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to use the American box art for this
I don't know.
game, but okay.
so anyway, if I disappear, I apologize. So
That's totally fine. But
That's
so that
fine.
is cute that he himself pops into this game, but my gosh, that box art is weird.
Yeah.
that box will
Hamburger
always
version?
be weird. What?
What's
Okay.
hamburger? Is that what they
Okay.
call the American version?
Well, sort of. Let me put it to you this way. In the international and Japanese version of the game, your main collectible of the game is going to be an onigiri, but if you pick the hamburger mode, they become hamburgers.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
the American
Wow.
version.
Well, no, the American version did have the onigiri. It's just that, I guess, as a cheap joke, they just decided to just change the sprite and make it a hamburger for those that, like hamburgers.
Oh, rewind. Oh, that's actually handy.
Well, darn, I thought that they were going. I thought that in the Japanese version they're jelly donuts.
Look at him and all his adventures.
Hello.
So, they wanted this to be a comic book thing?
Sort
guess.
of. That is one thing I definitely noticed about this version of the game. I'm not sure if this was ever a thing in earlier revisions of Alex Kidd, but they have these cute little snippets before you start a stage. But anyway, I'm sure most of us here have heard the legend of the once quote-unquote great Alex Kidd.
I've never
Was
played
pretty much-
any of the games, and I don't know much about him other than his name is Alex Kidd.
Yeah, same here.
Well, All right, well, all right. I guess I shall do my duty and enlighten you in the fact that he was the original mascot for Sega before. Well, okay, not so much the original mascot, but probably the big mascot they had at the time to compete with the likes of Nintendo.
Oh no!
Before that happened to him. Oh, we have a rewind feature.
Oh.
Thank you, emulator.
It's the Reaper. Come for our souls.
Oh, jeez. Oh, shoot.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the game can be a bit cruel in that department sometimes. I mean, considering the fact this game literally came out the exact same year that Super Mario Brothers did. It's okay, maybe not so much the same year, but close enough. It was supposed to be a competitor to Mario Brothers.
It means death.
Well, actually, the funny thing about the skull blocks is that all they really do is just stun you for a few seconds. The ones you want to watch out for are the question marks, because either they'll give you a special item, or again, the Reaper pops out and takes your soul.
Alex, I thought they told you, don't fear the Reaper.
What's with all the junk? Oh, sorry, you first.
Well, okay, I was about to say, but yeah, back in the heyday, Alex Kidd was pretty much the lead star for Sega, trying to fend back the likes of the Nintendo Empire with their lovable Super Mario character. But over time, well, I think Sega started to realize maybe Alex Kidd isn't working as well as they hoped, and that's when the whole search for a new mascot came around. That's when we got Sonic the Hedgehog, and well, the rest speaks for itself. Like after his one time in the Shinobi world, like Alex Kidd was more or less forgotten.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, yeah, Sonic had pretty much he saw continued success up to a point, and well, that's pretty much how the story goes. But I guess as far as the actual Alex Kidd and Miracle World game itself is concerned, again, it's a 2D platformer, kind of like Super Mario Brothers, but like Mario, you actually have the ability to actually punch things.
What the fuck is that thing? It's like a
Doesn't
frog
matter.
ape.
Anywho's
Yeah, it's weird.
This world is full of weirdos, if it wasn't immediately obvious, but every level has a onigiri or a hamburger, depending on the version you go with, and well,
No, you mean a hamburger or a jelly donut, right?
Okay.
Oh, you just
munch
made
the
it.
hamburger.
I'm sorry to tell you this, Matt, but the jelly donut is a lie.
Oh, come on. We have enough money. Get it.
Okay,
Aww.
I'll grab a ring.
No.
I'll grab whatever the hell this thing's supposed to be. I'm assuming it's the secret surprise. And we got a motorbike.
Why the motorbike? Why a motorbike?
Why not?
To make him distinct from Mario.
Yeah.
Like throughout
Look
his
at that.
adventure, Alex Kidd actually does have at least one or two vehicles that he can use every once in a while, and well, they're mostly just an auto-scrolling sort of thing.
You know
I mean,
what?
I will say. Oh,
That actually
wow.
seemed kind of cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty cute for what it was worth.
onto it. I mean, I will say this game looks more complex than the original Mario Brothers one.
Yeah.
Yeah, though I will say, in the Mario's defense, it doesn't control quite as awkwardly as this game does. Because if you no doubt noticed throughout the gameplay so far, Alex Kidd is unfortunately a very slippery motherfucker. Like, honestly, I would argue he's around the same, if not worse, than, say, Luigi. Oh, yeah, here's our first boss.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, Junkin.
Stonehead.
That makes
Henchman of the
sense.
king. I'll let you pass by here if you win these 3 whatever.
I was gonna say, James, I was wondering what the heck the top and bottom borders were
You
for.
must choose either paper, whatever. You talked over me.
Rock, paper, scissors, bitch!
Rock, paper, scissors, motherfucker.
So yeah, every boss fight is literally a game of rock, paper, scissors.
I win. You got it.
Are you serious? Every boss just is RNG.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is. Though I do believe there's an item that you can acquire that if you have it equipped, then you can actually read his thoughts and properly lay out your strategy.
Darn it, I lose.
One more to go.
And unfortunately, whether you like it or not, it's a best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And survey says,
Oh no.
So do we just die?
You better accept the inevitable.
We die.
Yep,
yeah,
we
he
died. Wait, what?
We're
Oh,
gonna
right.
reset.
I
Oh no,
I
we were
can't
5
escape.
seconds too off. You
The rewind did not save me.
must accept the inevitable, James.
Alright, let's try it again.
Whoa, why do you have a blue? Why do
I'm
you have a white
Stonehead.
out?
Why the fuck? Oh, whoa. Okay, dude.
I was going Super
rock,
Saiyan
paper,
for a moment
scissors,
there.
We've been through this shit before.
And unfortunately, as far as I could serve, with the exception of maybe one or two other bosses, like, this is primarily what you're doing. And yes, the other bosses do have faces that resemble either the rock, papers, or scissor hands.
Fair enough.
This guy obviously has the rock.
Like, it's pretty obvious that this game's main goal was to try to set itself apart from Mario so freaking much. To a point where they relied on fucking rock, paper, scissors just to make a boss fight more interesting than Mario just going for the axe and axing him off then and there. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think what you've seen of Kid up until now is honestly the most you really need to see. So,
Okay.
On that note, I hope you all enjoyed, and again, if you want to get these games for yourself, some of these are on almost anything, but the version I'm playing here is for the Nintendo Switch, which I believe costs around $7 to $8.
Hey. Alright.
So it's really only for those that are deathly curious on Sega's legacy up to this point.
Fair enough.
Gotcha.
On that note, I say that again, 'cause whatever. I'm James Bay Extreme.
Lucky Jack 20.
Join the Cat 11.
And I'm Stonehead because I'm stoned. Who else wants weed?
Wow, we did it, everybody.
No, thank you. I'm going sober. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Till next time.
How much enjoyment did you have in this? 1!